From lightweight to heavyweight, technicians on the mat. The best of the best over the last 2 decades. Welcome back to 11 of the last 20. I'm your host, Chad Landers. Thanks for tuning in to our latest countdown here on Blue Ridge 11. Today, we hit the mats to find out the best wrestlers from our coverage area over the past 20 years. So let's head back to the high school gymnasium and see who made our list.
Antonio knows how to finish, that's for sure.
Oh, there it is. Oh, look at that move. For wrestlers to achieve at a high level, obviously they need to be coachable. There is the grit, the determination, the perseverance. I think every wrestler has to have just an ability to continue to grow and continue to learn.
In terms of being an outstanding high school wrestler, first of all, you have to be self-disciplined, having the right kind of mental attitude. Wrestling is probably 80% mental.
There it is.
Gets himself a fall.
Quick work.
You're there one-on-one, nowhere to hide. You really have to have the right mindset.
I really think it's that determination. I mean, everyone's going to get beat, but how you react and how you respond from that adversity.
Wrestlers need to be resilient, and they need to trust the process of their training, knowing that it doesn't guarantee success, but it certainly is a part of the process to get to the top, to be the best of the best.
Steve Borjov, garden spot, has won it.
It's also what you put into it, and that's been sort of my approach, doing the extra things after practice, doing the extra things on your own.
There's not a big difference between being good and being great. It's that 1% difference that some of these athletes were able to invest in their careers to achieve at a very high level.
And there are certain things you can do on your own, by yourself, against a wall, on the floor, in the carpet. And those kids that I've seen over the years that do those extra things when nobody's looking, and they get better, and then they make adjustments from there. So they get a second faster. Those little things that, like I said, go unseen.
You must have a great work ethic. All of these wrestlers on this list, they had all those attributes.
Number 11, Conestoga Valley's Lucas Ortiz, 2-time LL League champion and District 3 champion.
Lucas Ortiz, one of our top wrestlers coming out of Conestoga Valley, and what I remember most about Lucas is the fact that I think he helped elevate our program, elevate other wrestlers on the team.
Look at the counter there, Jan.
Lucas Ortiz just stopped that cold.
He was a kid that definitely set a standard for Conestoga Valley. He was a kid that you could count on dual meets. He's definitely going to set a tempo. He'd be able to have both, physicality with technique.
Lucas Ortiz was a guy who burst onto the scene freshman year. He was actually the outstanding wrestler at the LL League, which is a huge accomplishment.
That's it, the freshman, and a very impressive freshman. Lucas Ortiz extends his record to 18-1 on the year.
I remember when I first saw Lucas, we always went to Conestoga Valley's practice in the preseason. I remember talking to Coach Trent Turner, and I always ask any new faces, newcomers, impact guys, and Trent just sort of smiled and he said, "Yeah, I've got one," and an impact freshman, Lucas Ortiz.
You just saw that coming up when he was in 8th grade. He was a PJW state champion. He just knew coming into high school that he had a unique talent.
Was a district champ. Unfortunately, his career was cut short his senior year with an ACL tear. Based on my recollection of Lucas, I'm sure that he would have made some noise at the state level his senior year.
The thing that was just so unfortunate was the fact that, coming into his senior year, doing what Lucas did in the off season, wrestle, just tore his ACL in a preseason tournament in an effort to obviously just get better, and missed out on his senior season, and it was just heartbreaking for him, our program.
One of the coolest moments from Lucas was stuck with 99 wins, nearing the end of the season in January. They were wrestling Chambersburg, and he got a forfeit win to get his 100th high school career win.
Despite not being able to be on the mat, just the genuineness of this young man to invest in his teammates, to still make the team, and to make his teammates better was something that I'll always have the pleasure of remembering, that mark that he left at Conestoga Valley Wrestling, in addition to a lot of the career marks that he had as well.
Number 10, Warwick's Devon Schnapp, Warriors' all-time leader in wins, 2-time state medalist.
Devon Schnapp, one of the most humble and hardworking wrestlers and people you could ever find in high school wrestling.
I remember there being a lot of buzz when Devon came up to varsity, and boy, he didn't disappoint. He stands as Warwick's all-time winningest wrestler, and when you look at some of the names that have come through Warwick's program, that's really an impressive feat.
He's one of those kids that he'd overpower you. And he was like the little Energizer bunny. You never saw him stop. And that was one of the things that's huge in high school wrestling. You can push kids to the brink, you can break them mentally, and then you can also break them physically.
Oh, look at that move. Just a relentless wrestler and never liked to give up points. Always in attack mode.
He's just strong in all areas. A well-rounded wrestler, won multiple state medals.
His magical, moment had some epic matches with Austin DeSanto in districts. He lost 6-3, but was in that match, and then he met him in states as well. Lost 3-2. Devon almost got over that hump, but DeSanto, of course, went on to, a couple years later, defeat Spencer Lee to win a state title. Those two guys, DeSanto and Schnapp, had a couple classics in 2015.
Devon, I give a lot of credit to because he broke into the lineup at Penn State, and that lineup was just star-studded. I mean, just unbelievable athletes.
This is excellent technical wrestling. And we get a reversal, 2 points for Schnapp.
Started dual meets for Penn State University and Penn State University Wrestling. What more can you say? That's any wrestler's dream pretty much here in Pennsylvania.
Devon took some lumps, but he never quit. Came back again his second year, was much better, and again, just a great work ethic, a super kid.
And so a hard-fought battle, but Devon Schnapp picks up victory number 6 on the season.
And for Devon, who's wrestled for Penn State for 4 years, I believe still has 1 year of eligibility left, Devon's living the wrestler's dream at Penn State University.
Number 9, Manheim Central's Jared Siegrist, 2-time District 3 champion, 2-time state medalist.
Jared Siegrist was one of the most consistent wrestlers I've ever seen, and just a total workhorse.
Tough kid, tough competitor, well-rounded. He did a lot of things well.
Just a guy that never sat out. He was always wanted to be in the lineup and had great results.
Yeah, Jared had the opportunity to coach all 4 years, at high school with him. I think his successes came along with the fact where in those close matches, he was solid in all 3 positions.
Jared Siegrist had probably one of the nastiest crossface cradles you could. I mean, he would skirt the line of being dirty with it, but I mean, he was on it, and he could hit it from anywhere.
He's got that far cradle locked up. He's gonna do a roll through finish.
When he would get on top, you would have people crouching, hiding their heads, because when he hit that crossface cradle, you were going over and you were getting stuck.
A guy that didn't give up too much, and when he did, he got angry about it and then came back harder the next period.
He went on to wrestle Lockhaven and became their first MAC champion and qualified for nationals this year. Unfortunately, nationals did not happen.
So many wrestlers deal with injuries and nagging injuries, and Jared never really seemed to show that. He wrestled 153 high school matches, always in the lineup, always a guy you can count on to score points, get your team ahead in dual meets. And then he went on in his college career, he wrestled 163 matches for Lockhaven. Jared, just an incredible wrestler for the Barons for so many years.
Number 8, Ephrata's Nate Rock, District 3 champion, 2004 state runner-up.
Nate Rock, what a physical specimen he was back in the day. He was one of those guys that would just intimidate you with his physical prowess.
Rock is tough, physical, and pretty darn good.
Another tough, talented kid in the Lancaster Lebanon League and back in Ephrata.
If I had to use a word to describe Nate, it's probably rugged. Just super physical, really tough. He was tough on the football field. He was tough on the mat.
And Rock's going to get a takedown right on the edge.
Nate was just a great athlete, actually made the Blue Ridge list as a running back. Just could do it all, and just unbelievable athlete.
Nate was a first and third placer at districts, a second place finisher at states, and he went on to wrestle at the University of Buffalo.
His senior year, he went all the way to the state finals and lost a controversial decision.
He's going to get the takedown. And they're going to let him finish this off. What a way to finish.
State runner-up, made the finals, and I think it was like a 1-point match. He could have won it. He was just pound for pound. He was bruising, super physical kid, and that got him far. But he did have a lot of good technique.
The countdown's only getting started. Coming up next, we look back at the best wrestlers from number 7 through number 4. It's all ahead on 11 of the last 20.